So this is a race I did this morning. It's one of the weekly races at Catalunya, Barcelona. This week's weekly race for Gran Turismo. I qualified in third. The two guys in front of me are definitely a little bit quicker as far as qualifying time. Qualifying times for me aren't the best anyway, so I'm probably a second or so down on qualifying time. But anyway, this is lap one, turn one. We'll see how the race goes. At the moment, I've got no camera sort of setup, so I can't really do a live stream very well. Anyway, so at the moment I'm just running the race, playing the replay, and then sort of videoing the replay back afterwards, but it's okay. So as you can see, anyway, I'm in the green car, number 3, J&D Moto. That's me there, green skyline. But for the first lap, probably lap and a half or so, it's pretty harsh. I don't know. It's a hard car to drive with cold tyres. I guess they all are, but so the first sort of lap or two, I definitely lose a little bit of ground to the leaders. Just trying to be safe, I guess, and not push the cold tyres too hard. Guys in front of me, there he is. So it's a Porsche leading the race, and then it's AMG heading in second. To give you an idea, the Porsche guy, I think he qualified with a 1:35, so it's a relatively quick time. Definitely competitive, whereas I'm sort of a mid-36. But in actual fact, our race pace is more like a high 47 sort of thing, so I'm kind of competitive at that. But yeah, I don't seem to be able to get that one lap qualifying pace, but that's okay. So that's the end of lap one. So as you can see, I mean, I've held my position, but the leaders have definitely managed to get a little gap on me. So that's making it challenging. I really need to stick in the slipstream. These guys, I don't know if it's just the way I'm taking the final turn or if it's partly the way the AMG comes off the corner, but they get better drive out of the final turn than I do, both the Porsche and the AMG. So it's hard for me to keep that slipstream down the straight. But over the course of the lap, I am slowly making ground on them. This is a 10-lap race. And yeah, this was one of my better races, I guess. As you'll see. I'll flick to some in-car stuff as well in a minute and just show you what's going on in-car. Break it up a little bit, if I can find... Okay, so that's front of the bonnet. I normally drive from this view, in-car. I'm running a CSL Elite Fanatec steering wheel pedals combo. It's got a load cell brake pedal. It's just a base. This guy. Fanatec CSL Elite. It's a good setup. I like it. I run in-car and I'm running a wheel. So I actually didn't realise just how many people on Gran Turismo are still running controllers. I guess you just assume that everybody's racing with a wheel, but in actual fact, that's not really the case. So I don't know if it's a benefit or not. But before I bought my wheel, I was pretty quick with the controller too, so I don't think it matters too much. And you see the guy in front of me there, he runs wide a little bit just there. I actually thought he would have got a track limit penalty. And he did, so that's a good thing. And you see first place is starting to get away from us, actually. But just as I say that, first place has had a really big lose there. You can see he's nearly looped it, and he's dropped right back into my grasp, which let the AMG come up into second place. Into first place, rather, and it's dropped the Porsche back to second. So now I am all over him. This is a good thing for me, because it means I've got somebody I can slipstream. But also, I know the guy's fast. I know he's capable of running, 35 qualifying time, so that's fast. So I'm trying to sort of stick with him as much as I can and sort of just learn some stuff. We know the AMG guy just got a track limits penalty. And with the Porsche having a spin, that and combined with that penalty, that's going to bring us all back into play and bunch us all up. So we're I don't know, I guess we're probably 3 or 4 laps in at this point. And I'm just hanging tight, running consistent laps. Because in outright speed, I don't think I really would have caught these guys. I'm just trying to run consistent laps while I'm on my own and just sort of hopefully they make a few mistakes or trip up on each other or something, you know. But at this point, I think I'm in for a bit of a shot. I actually thought at the start that I'd be running around in third by myself the whole race and it'd be just a kind of uneventful drive for me. But, I mean, the key is to hang in there for the whole 10 laps and let it unfold. Also, I am pretty good as far as conserving my tyres. So for me, my quickest laps are probably like 6, 7, something like that. And laps 8, 9, and 10 are still pretty fast for me. So I'm hoping that these guys are sort of using up more tyre than they should, and that's going to give me a chance. And as you can see, they're starting to have a go at each other here, and that's giving me a real good shot to get on their tail. I'm right onto them now, so we'll do a few laps in car and see what happens. I probably hit somebody. No. Clean. All clean. I know I do give the Porsche a little tap at one stage, but I think this is all clean. It's a good couple of laps of race with these guys, actually. A really fun race, that's why I thought I'd show the replay. I've got a good run down here, but there's really no way past, especially with two guys wide like that, so. And yeah, I believe I do give the Porsche a little tap, which I apologise for, but just there you go. It really isn't that big, and I think if you watch the outside replay, there's really not that much in it. He gets a little bit balked by the first place driver, and he sort of brake checks there, which is not his fault, absolutely not. It's mine, but it's only a really little bump mid corner. That's why it didn't unsettle any of us really. But yeah, as you can see, I'm really struggling for traction on the exit of that corner. And that's just because I'm trying to get off that corner so fast to stay with these guys and get in the slipstream. Normally I'm a bit smoother out of that corner, but I was a bit anxious to try and sort of stick on his tail, so. I think that I get a better run out of here, and I sort of set him up for a bit of an overtaking move. He can't go anywhere because the AMG was slow mid-corner there, so I'm like, I put a move on the outside of him, and thankfully he plays that right. He doesn't try and stay inside me. I've definitely made the pass, and so he relinquishes the position, and it's short-lived. I brake myself there. I'm slow off the turn, and so I pull out of the way, essentially, and let him go back around. I mean, I think I have got a tiny little bit more pace than these guys at the moment, and a tiny little bit more tyre, and it was a real shame that I didn't manage to get off that turn. I had a bit of a, almost looped it back there, and I had to let him back around, but the best thing to do was, not to defend the position, but to let him back around so that we can all stick in a bunch. Because ultimately, we're all after first place. There's no point in me fighting too hard with second. We need to push ourselves up there and get that guy in first. So, he's consistent. Don't fight him too hard. Let him back around and stay in the train, and just follow these guys and wait for people's tyres to run out and stuff. So. They're battling pretty hard. And that really keeps me in play. So those guys are battling pretty hard. I think we're at the limit of the leader, the AMG guy's pace. He qualified similar to me with a low 36. So the guy in the Porsche definitely has the outright speed. I've raced with him a couple of times. I can't think of his name, but I have raced with him a couple of times, and he definitely has some speed. It's just sort of... he's just sort of got stuck running our pace at the start of the race because he didn't clear out. And now he's sort of, struggling with tyres and all the rest of it, so he's stuck at our pace. I think single laps he'd probably get us, but I got a chance here, and this is funny. So I followed the Porsche down the outside, but he jumps on the brakes really early. I mean, I don't see any issue with that. He didn't hit anybody. I didn't hit him, but he did get penalised for it. So I don't know whether that was a penalty for track limits in the previous corner. It may have been. There was definitely no contact there from any of us, so not sure why he got a penalty. But that gets me into second place anyway, and I'm happy with that. And like I say, the Porsche driver, he is a A+ driver. He understands how it works, so he knows he's got the penalty here. He's not going to fight to get that position back off me, unless I'm obviously holding him up. So he just settles in behind me, and he's waiting to serve out his penalty, I believe. Well, let's see if I can get this guy for first. Right now, I'm feeling pretty good. I thought that I'd be guaranteed stuck in third the whole race, and now I've got a genuine chance to fight for first. So yeah, and the driver in front of me, the AMG, is definitely faster off the final turn and down the main straight, but I think I've got his measure everywhere else, so I sort of catch him up pretty hard through the middle of the lap. And he's always a touch wide there. It is a difficult spot to pass there. You can do it, but unless the lead driver makes a mistake, it's pretty hard. That's not where I'm hoping to get him, to be honest. We're all good through here. I think I could run through this corner a little faster than him. I get a bit of wheel spin there, which doesn't help, so it won't be this lap. There is a chance to pass him down into this turn if I'm close enough, but I'm not this lap, so I'm just biding my time. He's run wide there, but I wasn't going to get past him, so there's no point to push him wide there or anything like that. It's just he's just made a mistake, and it wasn't quite enough for me to capitalise on. So I'm trying to play the sensible game here and just stick with him. Just keep the pressure on him. We're getting late into the race now, so I'm keeping the pressure on him and hoping he'll have some tyre issues, and an opportunity might arise for me. That's not too bad through there that time, so I'm getting on the slipstream. Now, down into turn 1 is definitely a passing opportunity if you can get a good slipstream, but I think I started too far back here. Turn 5, right-hander at turn 5 is probably my best bet, so I'm sort of trying to size him up, but he tried to squeeze me mid-corner. Yeah, I'm hoping to get off this turn fast and get him onto the inside of the next corner, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, definitely not close enough there that time, but there is definitely a passing manoeuvre that can be done there for sure. You can see he's really starting to struggle with car and brakes and all the rest of it, so I'm really just trying to keep the pressure on. I believe that the Porsche, he served his 0.5 second penalty, so he'll be right behind us. He won't have dropped off too much. Yeah, he's still there. I mean, he's got a little bit of ground to make up because he had that short penalty, but I've got no doubt that he'll have the speed to get back to me before we know it. And this has been a good tight race. The three of us have never really been any further than this apart. And like I say, I'm just trying to really keep the pressure on this guy and really hoping that he'll make a mistake. Now, he stops there for no apparent reason. I'm not actually sure what happened there, so I'm going to have a quick back up and have a quick look. Sorry about that. This is must be lap 8. We come around the corner, and yeah, there's a yellow flag there, which I'm okay with, but he sort of, I think there's somebody's gone off the track and hit one of the orange bollards. So let's have a look at that from outside the car. Again, sorry guys. I believe somebody's run off the track and hit one of the orange bollards. And it's caused the yellow flag, but it's also put a bollard on the track, and that's kind of balked him, and he's jumped right on the brakes. And just bunched us right up there. And unfortunately, I wasn't really prepared for it, but neither was the guy behind me, so I've been hit by the Porsche from behind, and that's pushed me wide. I mean, it's not something worth rage quitting about, and it's not really the Porsche's fault. It's just one of those things that happens in racing. All three of us were really close, and we come around that corner with seeing the yellow flags, which, is no drama. I wasn't going to pass him or anything like that. But then, as we've turned into the chicane, I think there's an orange bollard that may have been right on the edge of the track, and I think that the AMG driver in first has sort of just braked because he was worried about perhaps hitting that, or whether that would be solid if he did hit it. And that's kind of caused us all to have to panic jump on the brakes, and I've been hit from behind by the Porsche, so pretty frustrating, but it absolutely happens. It's just one of those things. So that's sort of the end of my race now. I'm confident I could have gotten that guy for first and got the win, as he was definitely starting to struggle for grip, and through the middle of the track I definitely think I could have put it past him on one of these corners. But now I think there's probably a lap and a half to go. So the best I can hope for at this point is catching that guy in front of me and getting back to third. Third's where I started anyway, so it's not a huge loss. It's disappointing, especially when you're battling for the lead. But like I say, it does happen. There's nobody at fault there, and I don't think anyone was penalised, which is okay. It's just a little bit of an unfortunate way for me to bow out of the battle for first place, but that's okay. I was try and stick to my line, regather myself, and put in some fast laps and try and catch these guys back as best I can. I think there's only one lap to go anyway, I believe, so not going to get back to where I was. Now, that was strange. Not sure whether the Porsche is waiting for me. I think he is waiting for me to relinquish the position, yeah. Absolute champion effort, that. I mean, he realised he's hit me, and that's taken me out. And so he's basically just rolled around for half a lap slowly and waited for me to come back past, which is such a good thing to see. It's a good sportsmanship. I would have... I didn't expect him to do that, and I would have been happy for him to go about his race, but obviously he didn't feel that was the right thing to do. So he's, he didn't just stop dead on the track and wait for me to come past, but he's just rolled off down the main straight next time round and let me have the position back, so that's cool. That's really nice of him. Unfortunately, amongst all that happening, whoever was in fourth position has now gotten ahead of the both of us and is into second, but at least he gave me my position back, and that's all he could really do. Super good effort. Like I say, I've raced with him a few times before. He is an A-plus level driver. He's more than fair and definitely a quality driver, so and that just proves it, relinquishing the position. Love to be able to catch his name there, but it's difficult. And I really can't remember it. That's it. That's the race. Third place for us, which is not too bad. Agile Blaze or something, I think is the Porsche driver, if that's right. Shout out to Agile Blaze. Really good drive, mate. Really great race. Really enjoyed it. Thanks, guys. That's weekly race for this week on Gran Turismo Sport. Barcelona, Catalunya. Gr3. Catch you next time.